Mark, let's just have a catch up on everything that went on deadline day. It was a pretty late night for you in the end.
Yeah, it was. We were hanging around the office, and all the staff were there, and we obviously people were working hard to get the paperwork done and things like that. Some things come around a little bit later, so we had to sort those issues out. But listen, everything came through well, and we got everything done.
Pleased with the window overall? Obviously your first experience of it as a head coach.
Yeah, we had the targets of what we wanted to get. I think Liam alluded to that in kind of the little piece we did after the deadline passed, that the centre half one came up because of Warren's injury, and we had to move quickly on that, and we had targets we wanted to get, and targets then went away, and then at the last minute targets come available again. So there was a lot of toing and froing on that, which is not always easy, and there had to be some difficult conversations to be had, which is part and parcel of the window, I suppose. But listen, we managed to get Anthony over the line as well, which was important for that centre half position, because we for the last few weeks now we've only had two centre backs available, but we've got a little bit of strength in there as well.
And he's someone who can hit the ground running as well, isn't he? Because he's got those games recently under his belt.
Yeah, we had a lot of targets, and all with varying ranges of ability and experience. I think Anthony has shown his capabilities over the years he's played, and the level he's played at, and the big games he's played in, that he's got the ability to play in our team, but he's also got the experience and the leadership qualities, which I think is going to be important to our group. I think missing Dean and Warren, who were really, really influential, were players on the pitch as regards to leaders. We don't really have that now. We've got a lot of players who lead in different ways, but kind of being that vocal, dominant leader is hard to come by these days. And I think Anthony, kind of has shown that with what we know about him and his past, and he'll bring a lot to the table for us.
So it's 5 in and 4 out over the course of January. You're happy with your squad that this is where it is, and this is, I suppose, the start of the end of the season now, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got good depth in the squad. The squad is big. It still is probably a little bit too big. But like I said in my comments just after the window closed, that I think competition for places is really, really good. I like to have a team of players who are fighting for that shirt. I think when anybody gets comfortable and in the mindset where it's a given, I'm going to play, it can be a little bit dangerous. That not always, but it can be. That complacency can creep in, but we certainly won't have that. We'll have people vying for every position, people fighting every day in training to get to the front and try and earn that starting place. And when players are in the team, we want them fighting to try and stay in the team as well, by putting in good performances and helping the team get the points we need.
Big news coming out yesterday as well about, from our point of view, having spoken about it for the best part of 10-15 years now, the training ground. Obviously it's something that's, or a saga at least, that's going to be fairly new to you, but how important is it that Dons have finally got some sort of permission to build a bespoke training ground?
No, I've heard a lot about it. So the chairman spoke about it to me a lot when I first come in, and he said of his plans and the club's plans that they want to develop that side of the first team as regards to getting that real base where we can exist and we can do all our work. So that's fantastic news for the club. It's fantastic news for the chairman, because I know he's been fighting for that for a long time and putting a lot into it to try and make that side of it right. So it's great news for him, and it's great news for the club, and hopefully we can start to move that forward as well.
You've worked obviously in some pretty lavish training grounds, I'm sure, up in Leeds. What does it mean for a football club? It sounds fairly obvious, doesn't it, that it's a place for you to go and train, but it's a different home from the stadium, isn't it? And it's an opportunity to start to build the club, from the academy up in a very bespoke facility.
Well, I think what it'll give us as well is an opportunity to train with all the teams, the 18s and the senior team on the same site, which I feel is really, really important. We had two of the young under-18s training up with us during the week, and yes, it's doable, but there's a lot of kind of moving parts to get them players up and into the training ground. But if we can get a program where we can train side by side a lot of the days, and we can utilise those players to enhance the sessions so we can have 11v11s and certain things, but also to give opportunities to those young players as well, because the jump from 18s to first team is massive. And to get that exposure of training with the senior players is really, really important for their development as well. So that's one aspect it will help with. Another aspect is kind of having that purpose-built place and base where the players can be. Being at the ground all the time, we've got fantastic facilities here. But again, I think that the plan is to develop that where we can have a full base where we can do everything. I think that will take a little bit of time. But that is the ultimate aim, is to have that base where we can do everything there and make it, listen, it's not making it really, really comfortable for the players where everything's nice, and because that, it's a workplace at the end of the day, but having the facilities for what we need so we can execute everything we want to do on the training ground is important. And I'm just really, really pleased for the chairman and the club that they've been able to make that step forward.
And it feels like an opportunity to take the club to the next level, doesn't it? These things are somewhat behind the scenes when it comes to what fans normally ordinarily see. They'll come to Stadium MK and watch you guys of a Saturday, but that's where all the work's done, isn't it? And that helps you then drive on and can I suppose help in recruitment as well.
Of course it is. Having that good base is important. Listen, what you do on the pitch is a vital part, and albeit this is fantastic for the club and looking forward on things, it's really, really important that we're saying that, listen, we've got a good base at the minute. We're comfortable in where we're training, and we're able to do our work there. So the work we're getting in at the minute is really, really good. This is for the future, yes, but we are focusing now on what we need to do, and we're comfortable with what we got as regards to facilities and things like that at the minute, and there's no hindrance with that helping us out or holding us back from what we're trying to do. We're working hard every day and utilising what we've got at the minute. So for the future, yeah, brilliant. But now we're all right, and we're kind of utilising everything we've got.
So how has it been this week? Obviously, last week a fairly frustrating one for you with the two home games.
Yeah, it's been a good week. The boys have been focused. It's difficult to get results out of your system sometimes, but I challenge the players from straight after the final whistle and said that's what we have to do. We have to get out of our system quickly. We need to focus on what we're going to do. Monday, Tuesday, we reviewed the game a lot and worked hard. And from today onwards, from Wednesday onwards as well, we've been looking towards Bristol Rovers and how we can develop our game plan for how we're going to execute with the ball and against the ball against Bristol Rovers, and we've been working really, really hard for that during the week, and the boys have shown a great focus again. The work rate is really, really good. I've said to the group this morning about that, this is us, this is our group. Yes, there's injuries to come back in and that, but this is going to be our group now, and now it's up to you to fight every day and every session and utilise every minute to get in that starting 11, and once you're in that starting 11, keep your place in there. And that's the competition we need within the group.
I suppose you can look at Bristol Rovers as well. I mean, when they came to Stadium MK earlier this season, they were rooted down in the depths of the league and went on a little bit of a streak, and it seemed them fly up the table. And I suppose you could be looking at that, thinking, a couple of results, you're going your way. You could be that same team, and you could be going up the table as well. That's
what we're talking about. We know we need to go on a run, but I've also challenged the players to kind of not look backwards, not look about, this is the next game and what we're going to do. Focus on the now of what we're going to do, exist in every moment, whether that be on the training pitch and in the lead up to one game, and our focus this week is Bristol Rovers. So I want them to exist in the moment and just think about not kind of shut everything out and really focus on our game plan, what we're going to do as a team, what are they going to do individually. And if we get that right and everybody's in that mindset, we'll have a fantastic chance of getting a positive result. We know there are no easy games, but when you come up against a team that's lost 5 or 7,
you know, you must be thinking you've got a decent shot at going there and getting a result.
Listen, it's about form. Form is I'm sure Joey Barton down there will be speaking to his team and having the exact same mindset about focusing on the result and getting that. So we're under no illusions that we're going to a team who are just going to roll over. You don't get that in football. You don't get that in professional football. At every game you approach, you have to be at your best, and you have to, like we said, capitalise on the good moments you have. And during the difficult times within games, you have to stay strong and stand strong. So that's been our message to the players. We have challenged them to kind of take and exploit the moments we're doing well. But again, when this moments come about where we have to defend or be strong or be compact and disciplined, we have to make those decisions right. So again, we're working towards that every day. The boys are receptive, the players are receptive, and you know, that's all I can ask. And now it's about controlling our kind of emotions when we come up to the game. Nerves are good for players. Nerves are good. But again, it's not letting that anxiety of things take over. It's being able to control that. And I speak about the experience within the team, that, you know, those key players within that will help control that for the younger players.
Have you been impressed by some of the mindsets that you've seen then since arriving? Because as you say, it's tough, especially for the younger players who may not have been through it before. But you know, adding the experience as you have over the last few weeks, you know, there must be some characters in there who've made you sit up and pay a little bit more attention.
I've been impressed with the whole team collectively in lots and lots of different ways, which it'd take too long to go into. But I've been impressed in lots of different ways. What I'm challenging the players to do now is to take it to the next level with everything we do. So that demanding of high performance, not just on a match day, but every day. The level and the mindset of performing to that elite high standard in everything we do needs to be there all the time. And that's a challenge because it's hard to maintain that. That's why players exist at lower levels, and that's why players exist at Premier League and the top level, because they're able to do that. Now we've got a group of players who want to do that, who want to get better. I've seen that from the start. I'm due to go in with 2 players now and go through their video clips of the last game. So that's happening consistently. The players are seeking out opportunities to get better, not just hiding away from it, because that's an easy thing to do, is kind of bury your head in the sand and say, oh well, I didn't play so well, so I don't want to see it, or I don't want to look at it. But the players actually seek it out, and we give them that constructive feedback where hopefully they can learn from that and apply it in the next game. So yeah, I've been really impressed with a lot of elements from the group of players.
And just finally, how are the injured lads getting on? Obviously, we know Dean Moonton and Warren O'Hara about for a little while, but the likes of Ethan Robson, Nathan Holland, and Josh Coyote.
Yeah, they're all working hard with the medical staff. They're all making progress. No time scale on when they're going to be back in as yet, but you know, they're all at different levels and they're all making, you know, really good progress. You know, I speak with Adam on a daily basis as to where they are. So like I said to the group there, I said once those players are back in as well, and once they're available, that'll make us even stronger, and that competition will be fierce. And that's what we need, that fierce competition, so everybody's performing at the top of their game. And then that's where my headache comes in to choose a place. But that's a good headache to have.